last couple examples, we only used one property per problem. What we're going to do now is look at when we have multiple transformations, or in other words, we can use multiple properties. Now when doing this, it's important to remember something that was said about ogres. Ogres are like onions. Good job, because they have...
They're smelly.
They're smelly, make you cry. That was the wrong one. Because they have what? Say it louder. Layers. All right. So when we're looking at these problems here, we're going to be taking them apart one layer at a time. Okay. So we're going to use our properties twice or 3 times or even more than that. Nothing too crazy though. So probably just about 2 or 3 times. But how do you know which one to do? You start from the outside in. So when I look at number 1, there's 2 things going on. I see a power, which would imply which property? Power property. And then I see division, which tells me what? Now, which order do you go in? Go from the outside in. Remember, the ogres are like onions. Peel apart those layers one at a time. So the first one I see is the 6, exactly. So what I'm going to start off here is I'm going to label which property I'm using so I don't get confused later on. I'm going to bring that 6 down so it is now a coefficient. Alright, so now I've peeled back that one layer and said, okay, we're good. Now what I need to do is go to my next layer. As I come in, what do I see here? The quotient property. Jade, what does the quotient property tell me I'm going to do there? That's right. Now, since the 6 was in front, when I write it as 2 logs that are subtracting, the 6 is going to stay out in front. So I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to have 6 log base 5 of A, and then I'm going to have plus, or actually, no, we said quotient. So we're minus 6 log base 5 of B. Yeah, it kind of does my 5 there.
Well, mine looks way more like logs than yours. My 5 is like huge.
So do you guys see how we did 2 properties there? I did power by bringing the 6 down. Quotient, I saw we're dividing ours 2 logs that are subtracting. But since I'd already brought the 6 down, it just stays with it. Alright? So I did 2. Now let's go to another one. This one is actually just one property, but it's kind of more of a simplifying thing. So what I hope that you're starting to get into the habit of seeing is whenever you see a square root, how are you going to write it?
As a fraction power.
Good. Which fraction power are we writing that as?
1/2.
So I'm going to write this as log base 6 of, and I've got x to the 6, but I'm going to raise that to the 1/2 power. Now, I've got 2 exponents here. I've got a 6 and a 1/2. What are those going to do?
Both you put in front.
Well, let's combine them. How do I combine a power raised to a power?
You add them.
You're going to multiply them.
Oh, yeah.
So, just as a side note here, if I have x cubed, I'm going to write this somewhere I can have more space. Let me write this over here. If I have x cubed, and I square it. What does it mean to square a number? It means you times it by itself. So I'd have x cubed times x cubed, which means how many total x's do I have? Too many.
6.
The answer is 6. So if I add the 3 and the 3, I get x to the 6, okay? But now if I have x cubed times x squared, how many x's do you have there?
So you have 6 x's 2 times.
No, this is just I have x cubed
3 x's.
times x squared.
Yeah.
So if you have the same base, then you add the exponents. If it's a power raised to a power, then you multiply them. Point is, right here I have the 6 x to the 6, and then that's raised to the 1/2, so I have a power raised to a power. What do I do with the 6 and the 1/2? I'm gonna multiply those, okay? So that's gonna be log base 6 of x to the 6 halves. What is 6 halves, guys?
3.
It's just 3.
You bother write 6 times.
I just wrote a 3, because you guys know what half of 6 is, right? It's a 3. I hope you know that, okay? Now, what do I do with that 3?
Put it in front.
Using which property?
Power.
What do you gotta say?
I got the power.
So bring down the 3. So, and I'm gonna put a little note here. I use the power property. So I can say this is 3 log base 6 of x.
The power property. The pro property.
So there you go. I only used one property there, but I had to do some simplifying first. The square root is 1/2 power. These multiply 6 halves is 3, bring the 3 down. That's how you do it. Jake,
So like in number 1, are both of those our answers or just one?
say that again here.
Like which one is our answer, both of them?
The whole thing. Yep, the whole thing is your answer. Yep. Because I've expanded it. So I started with 1 and now I have 2. Alright, let's go to number 3. On number 3, we're going to be doing those layers again, okay? So I look at this argument and I'm saying, what's going on here? What's the first thing that we see?
Exponent.
So I see x has an exponent, y has an exponent, but is the whole
I
thing...
guess you want me to divide first.
Yes,
Just
so the
say
point...
it's over. I'm sorry.
So guys, look, what is the difference between 1 and 3? Well, on 3, it was this ratio here, this fraction is raised to a power. So both the a is raised to the 6 and the b is. That's why I did the power property first. Notice here the exponents, they're kind of separated. Okay? That's why I'm going to do the division, or in other words, which property? Quotient property first, okay? So I'm going to put a little here, quotient. I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to write this as log base 4 of x to the 6. And since we're doing quotient, we're going to subtract log base 4 of y to the 3rd. Awesome. Okay, there we go. That's quotient property. That was our first layer. Now, what can I still do? What's my next layer? They both have exponents, right? Or powers, so that would tell us use the power property. Just take that 6, bring it down in front here. 3, bring it down in front there. Okay, can everyone see what I did there? Okay, let's do one more together for the expanding, and then we'll do some examples of condensing, and then that is it. So, help me out on this one, guys. So, we've got our layers here.
Power.
Mindy, when you look at this first, what is our first layer?
The power.
Which power in particular?
The 5, but not the other 5.
So 5 is on the outside, right? So I've got this 5 on the outside. It's going to come down to the front. So I have 5 log base 9 of x to the 5th over y. Uh-oh, those hiccups I hear. Is that,
Yeah.
I hate hiccups. I hope they go away for you. All right, Angela, what am I going to do next? So I took off the first layer. It was a power property. It's gone. What do you notice? What's happening now? That's right. We're dividing, so I'm going to rewrite this as a quotient. So I'm going to put a little note here. So I did the power property first. I'm going to do the quotient. Now remember that that 5 is going to stay with both of them. So I have 5 log base 9 of x to the 5th. That's my first one. Minus, keep a 5 there, 5 log base 9 of y. Good good. We've got one more thing that we can do here. And Brianna, do you see what that one more thing is? The what now? Yeah, this 5 here? Awesome. So we're going to use a power property again. Bring that 5 down. Now what will that 5 do to the other 5 that's already in there? That's going to be what? It will multiply. That was our, yeah, there we go. 25 log base 9 of x minus 5 log base 9 of y. And there we go. That whole thing is our answer. It's our expanded version of the logarithm we started with. All right. How do you feel about doing multiple expansions? You okay? Okay. We've got just one more slide here. And we're doing good on time. We'll get here done in time. Don't worry. Okay, last one here. We are going to be condensing. Now I want you to put a little note on here. Whenever you're condensing, use the power property first. So write a little note, and you might want to put that on your assignment too. Whenever you're condensing, that means you have more than one log. Do the power property first. That means any coefficients are going to become the exponents. So for example, here on number 5, do I have any coefficients I need to move up? Yep, this 2, I want to bring up, so I'm going to write power here. That'll be log base 3 of x squared, so I move that up, minus log base 3 of y. Okay, so I use a power property first. Okay, so now Nelly, on here I see subtraction. Which property am I going to use if I see subtraction? The quotient? Yes, I'm going to use a quotient, and instead of subtraction, let's rewrite it as division. The x squared will be the numerator, and the y will be the denominator. Make sure you go in order. So I've got the quotient property. This is log base 3 of x squared divided by y. Hey, pretty awesome, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Again, we're going to do power property first. Do we have any coefficients?
Yes.
Yes, there's a 5 power property. Move that on up. So I'll have log A plus log B to the 5th. All right, now Oscar, which property can I use to combine those logs? Awesome, because they're adding. So I'll use a product. Will you tell me what to write? What will the A and the B to the 5th do if we use a product property? They're going to times, yes, it'll be A times B to the 5th. Just like that. Okay, you guys are doing good. Let's keep on rolling here. We got 2 left. On number 7, that 6 can go up, right? We've already talked about that. We saw this on your other assignment, though. What is that what is that dividing by 2? How should I think of that? Timesing 1/2. So I'm going to write this like this. I'm going to have log base 7 of 8 to the 6. So I move that up. But I'm going to think of this as 1/2. Because when you think of dividing by 2, people are like, I don't know what to do for dividing. Well, don't think of it as dividing. Think of it as timesing by 1/2. Now that I have the 1/2 out there, what can I do with it?
Power.
Bring it up using the power property. So I get log base 7 of 8 to the 6 plus log base 7 of 5 to the 1/2 property. 1/2 power. All right, Isaac, which property can I still do? Yes. We did the power property twice, but they're adding, so which property is that? I just kinda told you on accident. So, tell me how to write this. I'll have log base 7 of what? We've got 8 to the 6, what is it gonna do with 5 to the 1 half? Well, it was already adding, so if it's adding, then it what now? Multiply. Now, guys, what is 5 to the 1 half?
2.5.
So I'm going to, that would be half of 5, right? So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. But if I'm doing 5 to the 1 half power, that's a square root of 5. I'm just going to write it like that. Okay? All right, this last one, I'm going to leave you a second to do on your own. Okay? So hurry and try this on your own. It shouldn't take too long. And we'll go over it in 30 seconds.
More crap.
Emma, will you help me out on this one? What did you do first?
6.
Yeah, we'll use the power property to bring that up. So I've got the power. This is log base 8 of x plus log base 8 of y plus log base 8 of z to the 6. Okay?
There was no Z on it. There's the equal sign.
Oh, is yours written like didn't copy well? Now what I can do, I got one left. What is it? Product. So since they're all adding, we're just going to multiply all those arguments together. I'll have x times y times z to the 6.